The regular meeting of the Board of Estimate and Apportionment for today, Wednesday, July 15th, 2015, will now come to order. Madam Secretary, will you please call the roll?
Mayor Slade.
Present.
Comptroller Green. Here. President Green.
Here.
Okay. We have items presented for the first time. Item number 1, request from the Comptroller's Office for approval of contracts and leases for various city departments is listed on Exhibit A. Item 2, request from the Comptroller's Office for approval of transfers between projects for capital improvement funds listed on Exhibit C. Item 3, request from the Deputy Comptroller's Office for approval to destroy all scanned airport vouchers and invoices for fiscal year 2008. This includes vouchers number 233046 through number 243369. Okay, that's the extent of the items presented for the first time on the agenda. Do we have any additions, corrections, deletions, or any comments about that? I think there is one.
Yes, there is a TIF extension agreement for Crondelet Coke that didn't make the agenda, but I think all members of the board received.
Okay.
I've not received it. I've not seen it.
We didn't receive it in our office either, Mayor.
But where'd it come from?
Well, it was in the alderman's mailbox, but the copy he had 3 different copies of that front letter, one addressed to each member of the board. It's like the normal one thing. You know, that comes from Dale Brookshead.
That's funny.
So not sure how.
I'm here from Mike Garvin, and I know under Chapter 610 of the revised statutes, you need the 24-hour notice to add to the agenda unless it is an emergency. So.
Yeah. Is there something that, I mean, I don't know. I really don't know about this. It's not on there, and it's coming from St. Louis Development. We have anybody here from St. Louis Development to talk about it? I guess it's not that important.
If I could, Mayor, I'd recommend that we just move on with this, and if it's that urgent, we could call another meeting next week. I didn't think it was like something that had to be done today.
Yeah, I think it's just authorizing that extension. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know when the timeline is.
Yeah, I think I mean, is there some reason why you feel there's an urgency? Because if you don't, I haven't heard anything about it. So what I'll do is, I mean, if it's important, you would think they'd look at our agenda or they'd make sure it was there. So what I would do is just suggest that we not put it on the agenda today, and we'll look at it and see what. Because I'd prefer if we just try to make sure, out of excess of caution, just follow the rules, because I don't know of anything that would say that this is an emergency. I can't say that it is one. So we'll go ahead and just not put it on the agenda at this time, but and then we'll follow up once we get information with your staff members, and Todd will have you make sure that gets taken care of. And then with that, do we have any other additions, or any additions, corrections, deletions? If we have none, I will entertain a motion for approval.
I move that we approve items 1 through 3.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Unanimously, items 1 through 3 have been approved. If there's nothing further to be brought before this body,
Mr. Mayor, if I may take the privilege, just to, now that we're done with the agenda, is to comment on the loss of the nephew of one of our aldermen of the 22nd. And just wanted to just make statements again regarding this being a summer so far of violence, and that I would really urge us to look at what we can do to increase funding for public safety, for all aspects of public safety. So as we go out of this meeting today, I'll be taking a look myself, and I just encourage the body of ENA to do what we can, because it's not easy. It's a very hard task as we look at our city, but it's certainly one that's worthwhile putting our efforts to.
Absolutely. And I will tell you that, I talked to Alderman Boyd, and he's very upset, as he should be.
Yeah,
and it's just something that impacts our entire community.
Absolutely.
I will tell you that we are joining in a lawsuit with the circuit attorney, as you may know, on the that Judge Durga ruling saying that Amendment 5 would preclude a portion, and will basically invalidate portions of the felon in possession law. You know, where they have a felon in possession, he says that you can't charge them with unlawful possession of a weapon. So we've joined there. The other thing is there is going to be a, unfortunately, cities all across America are seeing a much higher degree of gun violence and violence in general in their cities, so that the Major City Chiefs Association is having a summit coming up in August with chiefs and mayors from around the country to talk about, you know, what's going on, and, you know, just compare notes and try to figure out what we can do to collaborate to try to address it. And I've certainly talked to mayors as well that are having some, you know, we always like to, you know, point to a city that seems like crime where it's gone down, but there's a lot of them where it's gone up. And believe me, there is no silver bullet.
No, it's
you know,
not.
there's no one thing. I remember when in 2003 we had 71 homicides in the city of St. Louis. I had calls from mayors from all over the country saying, "Mayor, what are you doing? What's the secret?" You know, and basically what I was able to say was, we don't know. Of course, it went back up, it jumped back up the next year. But it looks like, though, as a trend throughout the country, we're seeing more and more gun violence. And it is not something that's you know, easy to deal with. And we're seeing more and more bold actions, like we saw. We're seeing more young people. Toddlers and you know, elementary school children and high school children that are getting shot many times in the crossfire of adults
just
shooting
sitting on
each
the
other.
porch watching the fireworks. And certainly from where I live, I can sit on my porch and watch the fireworks at Forest Park, but you know, I have that fear. You know, a stray bullet.
We are hoping to be able to find funding for the extra cops, so we're certainly looking to some help at that.
Now, the one thing I haven't seen this year, and I might missed it, was a gun buyback that has been popular. And if there's a question of dollars, I'd certainly be willing to look at my budget and other resources to get that going.
Yeah, we'll talk to the chief. Let's talk to the chief about that. I know that, you know, some programs sound good. I'm not sure if that's one of them or not. It certainly sounds good. Some of them sound good, but in the end, some of them don't really have much of an impact. I mean, we've had hundreds of guns stolen from cars in our city. So they're getting free guns. I mean, you might buy 100 guns back here, and they're stealing another 400 over here in cars because people are they're not responsible with their gun ownership. They'll leave them in their car. We tell people not to leave them in their car. And what happens is people are breaking in cars looking for guns. Now, if you can get 10 guns off the street, it's better than getting none off the street, of course. But certainly, we want to make sure we focus on the things we're going to get the bang for a buck, and we'll talk to him about that. I know the chief has looked into the buyback programs, and I know he has an opinion on those, but I just want to make sure I touch base with him again and see make sure I confirm what that opinion is. So we'll do that. All right, if there's nothing further, and we'll keep you in the loop, both of you, on this stuff. If there's nothing further, I'll entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor, indicate by saying aye. Aye. This meeting's adjourned. Thank you.